Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus Pimp Sunkiss, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, with a royale review for My Wife and Kids, episode 9, which means that we is almost done with the first season, honey. We got this one and then 2 more after. Tisk. But the rest of the seasons have quite a few more episodes. So there's it. But this hasn't been their first season. They got, a good amount, because these days, shows be getting only like 6 to 8 episodes in their first season. Sometimes 10, but for a while, a lot of real good shows, they only got like 6 to 8 episodes in their first season. Honey, but without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the specificities of the episode. Now, the name of this episode is Breaking It and Breaking Up. So this is the one that is centered around Junior hyper fixating on himself. And Michael and one of Claire's little boyfriends being hyper focused on each other and making her feel invincible. Whole lot of things to talk about. Now, I do wish that I could have teamed up with a guy to do this review with, because it's quite a few subjects around in this episode in particular that centered around like young boy and men stuff that I can really only give a womanly, feminine perspective on. And I just feel like it would be nice to be able to get a guy on to give their experience and perspective on it, But yeah, that might be something that I try to put together for the future. Just do, another review on this episode with somebody else. Still leave this one up, but just also do, a deeper dive into the review of it all. But we still gonna take care of it, honey, because my perspective is still valuable. Yes, God. Now, we start this episode off with Michael setting Katie up for breakfast. So it's morning time. Everybody is getting ready to go to work and to go to school. And we hear Claire upstairs yelling at Junior to hurry up and get up out the bathroom because he's taking just way too long. And her stuff is in there, honey. She got things to do too. Like, get your life and get it out the bathroom. So Jay walks in and it's like, that boy has been spending just way too much time in the bathroom. He got a stomach thing going on or something. And Michael says, see, it's more so about his thing. Interesting. Now, while I don't have, a gentleman here to give their perspective, I'm sure we'll have some gentlemen in the viewership, and y'all can give y'all's perspectives and thoughts in the comments on, this puberty, growing pains and growing pleasures aspect. But Jay feel like, look, I understand he a teenage boy and everything, but he is in there like day and night. This is way too much. You need to go talk to him. I must do agree, because I have heard that it's quite common for boys to be, hypersexual, if you will, at that age. It's a different type of exploration phase because of how their genitalia works and all of that, and the connection and separation between the brain and the little head, and the balls of it all. But that don't mean you just let it go, let it flow. There needs to be some nipping in the bud going on and some establishments of balance, because that can turn into a lot of other things. But we're gonna hold that though, okay? But Michael is not understanding exactly what he needs to talk to him about. Like, what is he supposed to say? He feel like, what you want me to do, go tie his hands behind his back? And Jay is like, no, just moderation is key, honey. Chill out. And Michael is like, downplaying it, not really taking it serious, like a lot of men do. And it is like, it's typical teenage boy behavior. It's, it'll prepare him for marriage and all this good stuff. I'm gonna get through the conversation and then I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think about that. Okay. So, Jay said, honey, ain't nobody even finna deal with that nonsense that you're talking, okay? Because Katie go to asking questions, and it's like, well, what is he doing? Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. But Jay basically just tries to smooth it over and be like, he's reading. And Katie said, well, I thought reading was a good thing. And now she got to clean up some more. See, when you tell a lie, you got to tell another lie to cover that lie and keep up with the rest of the lies that's to come. And so Jay said, well, yeah, reading is a good thing, but you just don't want to do it so much that you go blind. Now, honey, I don't know exactly what else she could have said to, keep that conversation child friendly, exactly, and explain to Katie, what they're talking about. Maybe she could have just told her to mind her business, honey. It's a time and a place for you to just not be asking questions, because the conversation is just not, it's not for you. It's not for your crowd, okay? You ain't got to know everything. You don't need to get an answer for everything at the time that you think you want the answer. So there's that. But what would y'all have said, okay? What type of answer would y'all have given? Do you feel like Jay gave the proper cloak to the conversation? Or do you feel like she should have just told Katie to mind her business? Or do you got a better idea? Let me know in the comments. So, y'all, Jay is over it at this point because she's like, I'm not fixing to deal with you, Michael, and I'm not fixing to deal with you, Katie, asking me all these questions that I don't have time to think of a good explanation for. So she's like, I'm done. It's time to go work, okay? And Katie said, yes, me too. It's time for me to go too. And she runs on off. They bid each other farewell and all of that. Katie, that is. Now, where did Katie go? Did she go to catch the bus? Was Rosa outside waiting for her? Did she run upstairs? I'm not sure. Is Katie walking herself to school? Let me look again. Okay, let me look again. Yeah, child, Katie just ran up out the scene. So I don't know if Katie is walking herself to work, Rosa outside, she catching the bus. I don't know. But we know that it's not a situation like on Family Matters where the kid ran up the stairs and never came back down. Katie will be back, and we love to see it. So Jay goes on to telling Michael that she's gonna be coming home late because she got some extra things to do after work. And Michael said, I thought she was gonna be here on time. And she said, no, I gotta pick up the shower gift. She getting married? Well, she didn't specify. She just said she gotta pick up that shower gift on the way home. But she said, have you seen my Victoria's Secret catalog? So I must assume that it's a bridal shower and she getting her something sexy to wear for her husband to be. Now, she can't find her Victoria's Secret catalog because Junior got it upstairs in the bathroom, along with some other books and things that ain't got Nathaniel to do with Nathaniel. And he up there using them for his own personal pleasure. I'm gonna have to hide it. Like, what's going on? And Michael said, yeah, go ahead and hide it. Put it in my sock drawer. You ain't slick. Get your own. You nasty. But Michael said, baby, it don't even matter because at his age, she could find something erotic and almost about anything. And this is exactly why it needs to be nipped in the bud soon. Granted, there's only so much that you can do, but he needs to start learning about sex education and moderation. Okay? Okay. Because sex education goes beyond condoms and contraceptions and all of that. It also teaches you how your sexual organs and everything work, not only for the males but also for the females. And having that type of knowledge can help him to not just see the pleasure hole aspect of everything and to not just sexualize women and look at women and girls as just objects for him to poke. And Jay is also looking for her crates and barrel catalog. Now what's that about? Why you got a crate and barrel catalog? What are you doing with crates and barrels? You making wine? What are you doing? The decoration? What are you doing? I don't know. Jay's a bit of a weirdo. But apparently, Junior got their catalog. Now, Michael follows up talking about you get the right woman, tossing the right salad, send the boy right over the edge. So what the hell crates and barrels got to do with salads? Am I missing something? If you know, let me know. Cause what? But that was a cool little jokey joke. Cause just the connections of it all. But honey, Claire comes in and she states her case like, can y'all please get that boy at the bathroom? Because I need to get in there and get my lip gloss and some more things. Jay started talking about, you know how I feel about you wearing that gook. Talking about the lip gloss. Ma'am, do you not have on makeup, including lipstick? Make it make sense. It's lip gloss. Let it go. Get over it. Like, and that's something that I'm going to get to in just about half a second. As soon as we get through, the rest of this here exchange. But Jay talking about, you know how I feel about you wearing that gook? And Michael talking about, well, we know how she feels about Roger. And he takes a notebook and he looking at the little, scribbling she done did. And they're talking about, Claire and Roger sitting in the tree, KISSING, and all that good stuff. And Jay is enamored. And she's like, oh my God, this is so cute. This is so adorable. Tell me more. Tell me more. And Claire's like, I don't know what to tell you about a boy that I don't even know, even if he is cute as pie. Honey, she excuses herself so she can get on to school. But this guy Michael all revved up because he is ready to assert his dominance when he comes to the boy. And Jay's like, baby, chill out. This is totally innocent. It's just a cute little schoolgirl crush. And he like, it's totally innocent on Claire's part. But that boy is a little horn dog. All teenage boys is horn dogs. And somewhere he's imagining her milking bananas or some shit like that. Now, here's where I get to the nitty gritty of my opinions on how this is being handled. Because we know it's age old. Junior, the boy, the son, is going through this like hypersexual phase with himself, but hypersexual nonetheless. And it's just like, oh, he's a boy. It's okay. It's normal. Nothing to see here. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be concerned about. There's a whole lot of things to be concerned about when it comes to that. Okay, a whole lot to tend to nip in the bud. But then Claire just got a cute little crush on a little boy and want to wear some lip gloss, and it's all this hoopla. Now, all of a sudden, the little boy's being a horn dog is a problem. It's something to be checked. It's something to be addressed because you low-key high-key want to police your daughter's hymen. Problematic. Because this type of shit breeds for somebody like Junior to grow up and be hypersexual and get in trouble as the results of his hypersexuality in a multitude of ways. He can be a cheater. He can be, form a sex addiction. He can end up assaulting somebody. Okay? And not have a moral compass for it because everybody just like, well, he's a boy. It's okay. Boys will be boys. And then the double standard of it all. Okay, now, on the other end, this type thing can cause Claire to be very sneaky. And this can also land her in a lot of trouble, being sneaky, and get her in a lot of situations that would be harder to get out of because she don't feel like she can talk to anybody. And then also, folks is always acting like Claire just got an attitude for no reason. But look at how many double standards be going on around her. I done already addressed in previous episodes how it like everybody be getting away with everything and running over Jay. But then when it comes to Claire, Jay wants to try to put her dick on the table. And now here we are again with everybody else being able to do what they do as they do it. But then when it comes to Claire, it has to be hyperanalyzed and criticized and policed. She can't even have a little crush. Problematic. That's why she mad. That's why she mad, y'all. Now, we pick back up, I believe it's later on that day. No, it should be the next day. Because Junior walks in and Michael is like, hey, you want to play Death March 2000 with me? Okay, it's a new video game that he got. And Junior is so adamant about loving up on himself that he don't even want to play the video game with his daddy. Now, that's something else we're going to dig deeper into in just a half a second, okay? So, yeah. And he's talking about the Crate and Barrel catalog came in today, so I got a lot of reading to do. And he's also kind of walking around looking a little zombified. Like he's been spending too much time alone in general, let alone like, you know, doing what he do. And you can see it's like he's kind of sucking the emotion out of himself. That's our problem. That's a problem. Because people also tend to forget and or just don't know or realize that sex is very spiritual, even when you're having it with yourself. Now, he goes on upstairs and somebody's at the door. Michael prepares to go and get it. And he opens the door and it's Raja. He like, hey, is Claire home? And Michael says, depends. What's your name? He like, Raja. Oh, how old are you? He said 16. Oh, Claire died. Slams the door in the face. That's rude. You don't want nobody doing your kid like that, so why you gonna do him like that? Disrespectful. So, Claire comes on down, goes on over to the door, answers the door. Thankfully, Raja is still sitting there, well, standing there, looking crazy. And he said, oh my gosh, I almost thought you were dead. And Claire's like, well, of course not, silly. I'm right here looking at you polite and kind. He said, I'm sorry to trouble you at home, but I found this book of yours in my bag. I don't know how it got there, but I wanted to return it. And Claire's like, oh my gosh, I thought I lost it. That's so weird. How did it end up in your bag? He's like, I don't know. It is weird. Things be going on and should be going on. Claire, you little player, you better put that Mac down and make it strong, Lord. But Michael wants to break the whole thing up. He said, yeah. It's all weird. Wrap that up. But Jay introduces herself. She's like, hey, I'm Claire's mom. And Michael then introduces himself talking about you. So what would you like? Some refreshments, some beer, tequila, what's good? And Rhonda says, that's really funny, Mr. Cow. I'm not a drinker. Now, what's interesting about this is this little boy was also on the Bernie Mac show. He played one of Nessa's classmates. And he invited her out to a 70s party. He invited her out to a 70s party. And that's the episode, I did a review on it, you know what I'm saying, go check it out in the playlist. But that's the episode where Bernie Mac helps her to put together her 70s look. And that's the way that they end up bonding. And Bernie gets in touch with his feminine side and gains acceptance with his feminine side and all that. But yes, the little boy who plays Roger is that same little boy from that episode. He's also the same actor that plays Tony in the seasons after this. And their personalities are similar. The character of Raja and the character of Tony are similar. The only real difference is the religious aspect, the hyper-religious aspect. And so it makes certain quirks about Tony and certain things concerning the innocence that he projects more hammed up and prominent. But their characterization is low-key, high-key the same. So it makes me wonder why they didn't just keep the same character. Why did they change the character and keep the same actor and just add a religious aspect to it? It's just questions that need answers for me. But maybe since the original Claire got ghosts, they decided to just omit Raja with her and just recreate him into Tony for the replacement Claire. But that's interesting to me. But Michael begins to frisk the boy. He's being extra, read all about it. Somebody check his veins and all that here now. He trying to see if he on drugs or something. Goodness gracious. But he said, look, I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself. And Jay is escorting him out. He's like, I'm going to be in the kitchen, give me something to drink next to my gun collection. So Roger is rightfully perturbed, but he keeping it cute and he ain't letting it get to him. Shout out to him. And Jay's in the kitchen checking him like, what is wrong with you? Have some cool. Okay? Because Roger is acting more mature than him. Gosh. It tends to be like that though, huh? And Michael is talking about, what you mean? I'm being weird. You the one that taught her the backpack trick. So, and she got him to the house and you able to meet him. So just let it be smooth. Get to know the little boy. Gosh. gosh. But Jay tells him, look, you just need to be nice and you need to chill out because you're making too much about all this. It ain't even about it. You have to be real careful and tender with how you handle this because it is her first crush. You are the first masculine figure in her life that she's been introduced to and dealing with all of this. And so how you handle this can affect the way that she sees and handles men going forward and how she allows them to handle her. Okay, so he like, yeah, I got you, gentle. And so she validates Michael's point as well, like, maybe you are right about boys his age, but let's just have some faith, okay? Innocent until proven. I find it hilarious that as Jay goes on to say, let's have some faith and let's be confident in the way that we raised her. And he said, look, I got faith in her. It's 16-year-old Puff Daddy out there that I'm concerned about. Puff Daddy, huh? Why is he the one you chose to call him? Ooh, hindsight is 2020. Get back into the living room and Tony is going through the Field and Streams magazine. And he said it's such a nice read. It's so interesting. And Claire's like, oh my gosh, you're such a great reader. I love that about you. And Michael is just looking at them and all of that. Still a little distrusting, but listening. And so he sits down next to them and he asks, what type of things you into, And he said, normal things. And Michael is like, normal like what? And Roger, not Tony, Roger. I'm saying it for myself because I almost called him Tony. So look, if I mess around and call him Tony, just know I'm talking about Roger. But he like normal stuff like baseball, basketball, hip hop. And Michael is like, oh, you like hip hop? I like rap too. You want to hear my freestyle? Check it. No, but he goes on. First of all, we done already discovered that Michael got bars a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. And he gets up, he's talking about, my name is DJ Mike. I weigh about 2 1/4. I'm gonna snap your little skinny ass in half if you mess with my daughter. Well, we see who the king of subtlety is. Really, my dude? Really? So this is Michael trying to assert his dominance ultimately, but Roger is unbothered and he's all up in Claire's face, just staring at her adorningly, okay? He ain't worried about that little situation. And Michael catch the flash and he said, okay, y'all don't need me to entertain, okay? Y'all can entertain yourselves. And he sits down talking about, I got me a new toy to play with. And he said he used to play with Junior all the time. He's talking about the video game. Child, I want to play. And it looked like a Nintendo 64 too. Is that a Nintendo 64? Or is that a Dreamcast? That might be a Dreamcast. I just learned what a Dreamcast looked like. So like a Dreamcast. That's probably what that is. But it's that Deathmatch 2000 game, and this ends up piquing Roger's interest. And he's like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to get my hands on that all this time. Like, let's get it. Michael said, y'all chat it up, okay? Y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna be sitting here quiet as mouse. But Lil Raj can't resist. I can't blame him though, because I want to play too. Shit, I want to play too. But yeah, Roger is fixated now because he's watching Michael play this game, and Claire trying to ask him some more questions about himself, like what classes he take and who his teacher is, and he ain't really trying to hear it. He's now unbothered as it concerns her, and he is all into the video game. And Michael is like, oh, what's good? You want to play? You want to go ahead and play? It's okay, I put it in multiplayer mode. You go ahead and grab the controller. And I would have been like, how many players can play? Hook me up. Help me help you. Goddamn. Child. But they playing on 2-player. And now Raj, he is knee-deep. And Claire's still trying to like get cozy with him and all of this, scooting all next to him. He's scooting all over away from her because he need arm room. And he gonna tell her, can you scoot over? Too close, baby. You gonna get elbowed all in your chin. So at this rate, Claire is shocked and a nigga named Paul. Like, what you mean? But it takes us into a transition to the next day. And she is feeling down. She is feeling forgotten. And she walks on into the kitchen and Jay is asking her what's wrong with her. You seem down, darling. And Claire says, yeah, whatever, it is what it is. And Jay said, what's up with you and Roger? Is everything good? And she said, oh, how are things with Roger? How are things with Roger? You want to know what's up with Roger? And Jay says, no more, it's all good. You ain't got to tell me. She said, no, I'm going to tell you. Because he has been spending all his time with Dad. So why don't you ask Dad what's up with Roger? Unfortunate. Not innocently cheating on her with her daddy. That's hell. There's a little bromance they got going on here. But Claire goes on, she is irate, honey. She is snapping. She said, you know what, they spent 4 hours together yesterday playing a stupid video game. And all he could talk about is Dad, how cool Dad is, how nice Dad is, and all the stuff he like about Dad. And Jay says, child, don't sweat that. Because men like to do all types of stupid things together. Here we go again with the boys will be boys. That's very annoying. But we're going to get to that, okay? And I don't think playing video games together is stupid. I think it's a very good way to bond, actually. You get the whole family crowded up in there. Put the game on multiplayer, okay? How many? Baby. Get that Mario Party. Pop it in. 4 controllers. Go in and let have. It's a great time. The family's bonded. Now, I declare, don't y'all get up in there playing that Mortal Kombat because it can get ugly real quick, okay? Go from bonding to boxing. We don't need that. Keep it at the Mario Party. Hell, they playing Deathmatch 2000. That's probably the combative energy they put into the air. But they go on for it to have this conversation. And Jay just emphasizes to her that This little thing that they got going on is no reflection of you. It don't take away how great you are and beautiful you are and all that. It's just a phase. It'll pass over. And the phone is ringing. And it's Michael. And Jay answers, and he asking, did Roger call him? She said, no, baby, Roger ain't call you, honey. And Claire is annoyed, and she stormed off. Jay is also annoyed. And she's consistently emphasizing to him that you need to talk to your son because he is still up in the bathroom. This is out of hand. This is a travesty afoot. Afoot. And she emphasizes that he is in there with her cookbook. Baby, she got to make dinner. He can't be up there with her cookbook. Soiling the meals. Now, every time she go in there cookbook, just somebody got to be thinking about what you up there cooking up with yourself. No, ma'am. No ham, no turkey, no jam. Problem. And in the midst of them having this conversation, Junior yells in agony, honey. And Jay's like, whoa, I gotta call you back because something is going on. Junior coming down the stairs, struggling, talking about where's Dad. And Jay said, baby, he in a meeting. You're gonna have to hold down. What's good? You can tell me what's going on. He like, I need to talk to Dad. She said, baby, you can tell me anything. Go ahead and tell me what's wrong. He said, I think I broke it. You broke it? Child, you done pulled a muscle. But I'm sure that shit hurt though, for real. No pain, no gain in this case, I guess, because ain't nobody talked to the boy and reeled him in or nothing. It seemed like, it would kind of be much that you could say to him. And he had to learn the hard way. Moderation is key. But Jay is asking him, like, what you mean? You think you broke it? You think you broke it in pieces? Or you just bent it out of shape? And he like, it ain't in pieces, honey. It just hurt. It just hurt real bad. She'll say, you want to put some ice on it? Ma'am, do you want to put some ice on yours? No. And she said, look, okay. We're just gonna go ahead and go down to Dr. Parks and see what he can do for you. And this boy trying to grab the damn magazine to take with him. And she like, please stop the madness. This is what got you in this situation in the first place. That boy don't need counseling. Take him to a psychiatrist while y'all at it. Which one of these they give to therapy? I know psychiatrists and psychologists, but I be forgetting which one do the prescriptions and which one gives therapy. They at the doctor's office, and it picks up with Junior reassembling himself. So he done already been checked out and everything. He just waiting for the doctor to come back and tell him what it is and what it's gonna be. There's this big old window in there. I ain't never seen nothing like that in the doctor's office with a big old window. Maybe I ain't never noticed it or something. I don't know. But it's a big old window that got blinds on it, and the blinds are open. It's weird. But through the blinds, you can see Jay out there on the phone, hiding with somebody. And Junior is feeling embarrassed, so he closes the blinds and he sits on down. And the doctor walks in there to tell him, it's okay. There's no lasting damage. You didn't break it. You basically just pulled the muscle, overworked it and everything, and you're going to have to let it rest, okay? Because you're using it and you use it too much. This is the type of thing that can happen. And Junior is reluctant because he's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? In his mind, he thinking that he just couldn't possibly stop fondling himself overtly, excessively. See, problem. Take that boy to a therapist ASAP because this is about to turn into a whole sexual addiction. Because it's good that this is a male doctor and he really sat down and talked to him and broke down the concept of balance and moderation. He broke it down to him with a bicycle. He said, look, you get a bicycle, you love the bicycle, and you want the bicycle to last, right? You want it to be great for you for a long time. So you have to prioritize properly when you're going to use it. You can ride it around for a little bit after school, maybe ride it to the store and come back. But if you just ride, it's going to break quick. It's going to fall apart quick, and then you're going to be having to get another one. Now, you can't really just replace your stuff like that all willy-nilly. But y'all get the picture. And he seems to have gotten it too, for the most part. I still say, take that boy to therapy. But it seemed like that conversation and the pain was a good start to him getting his life and finding something else to do. Goodness. And I really feel like it's him needing other avenues of pleasure. And I'll go deeper into that in just a sec. But the doctor leaves out, Jay comes in, and she said, so how you feeling? You doing good? And he said, well, I won't be riding my bike for a while, but it's all good. And he basically checking her because she caught him. He caught her. He checking her because he caught her laughing at him, I feel, on the phone. And he is, downtrodden about it. He's not ready to find the humor in it yet. And you can tell as they're talking, she trying not to laugh in his face. But he asked her, so who was you calling? Who was you on the phone with? And she said that she called his daddy so she could tell him what was going on, that, he's been looked after, keeping him updated and everything. And he said, yeah. I bet he thought it was funny too. Y'all had a good old laugh over there. And she said, listen. Like, she's trying to pay it off like she wasn't laughing at him. Like she was just happy that everything's okay and that he's fine and all this, that, and the third. And eventually, she just had to come on out with it. Like, look. Not laughing at you. I was laughing at the situation. And he takes it, he's like, yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it is pretty funny. but he feels embarrassed, which is understandable. But she assures him that it is nothing to be embarrassed about. He's just going through some growing pains and pleasures and learning how to handle pleasure and learning that sometimes too much pleasure can bring you pain, okay? But everything is going to be fine, and we can laugh at this and carry the wisdom going forward. So we pick back up at the house later on that night. Jay is cooking dinner. Claire walks in to further vent to her about how Michael and Roger is just steady going through their romantic phase, and they in there playing with the golf balls and the golf clubs, having their own little mini golf fish. A mess. Now, I would say, go in there, you pick up you a club and show him what you can do, boo. But at the same time, I understand it's the principle. And it's like, she got him over there, and now he's just completely acting like she don't exist. And for her daddy, like, damn, gosh. And Jay is hearing her out, but she also like just expressing to her how basically she done learned how to kind of prioritize around it and get in where she can fit in. And she said, well, look, it's this period of time between the Super Bowl and the basketball playoffs. And if you have any emotional issues, that's the time for you to bring it up. A shame and a scandal. And we're going to have to do better than that. Now, it gets even worse because Claire says that she asked if she could go to the miniature golfing plans that they got the next day, essentially that they in there practicing for, I guess, you know, prepping for and all of that. And she said Roger told her that he didn't want her to go because he needs to spend personal time with her daddy. And me and Jay is on the same page. Jay said you need to dump that little boy, and I agree. Because what is this? What is this? Now, I do feel like this boy is not getting proper attention from his daddy. So he's been deprived of that and therefore trying to make up for what he's been missing through Michael. Just as Michael misses the quality time that he used to spend with Junior, and he's trying to make up for that through Roger, not Tony. But balance, baby. Balance. We need to give a class on balance. Gosh. But we paying on back into the living room where the guys are in there practicing and everything. And Michael is trying to show Roger, not Tony, you know, some tips and tricks on how to get the ball rolling where he wants the ball to roll. And he says, see, yeah. You and Junior got the same issue, okay? You putting too much into it. Don't choke it. Just gently hold it. And then just give it a little pat, you know what I'm saying? And in this time, Claire walks in and says, hey, I'm dumping you. He said, yeah, me too. And she looked at him crazy, as she should, and just walks off like, talks to the hand because she just can't understand, clearly. But she goes on upstairs, and they still down there doing their thing. And Michael goes on, giving him the tips and the tricks and everything. And he showing him the ball like, this is a special ball, okay? Check this out. I'm at the 100 and standing 400 yards away from the hole. Psycho hits him in the head with the ball. Baby, what? He said it was the happiest day of his life, though. So, in a nutshell, if you didn't get that. What they call it? Golf course. He out on the golf course, basically at the same time that Tiger Woods was out there, but they was like hundreds and hundreds of yards apart. And Tiger hits the ball, they go, hey, you know, knock it out the park type shit. Busts Michael in the head. He kept the ball. I mean, I don't blame him. Because it's a pretty cool story to tell. Now, we're glad he okay. He didn't get no concussion or nothing. Glad it wasn't a bowling ball. But okay, I see why he like the ball. Anywho. He continues on. He like, look, I'm going to take you out to the range. We're going to hit these X14s, okay? And it's going to be sweet. And he sees Roger implement the little tip he just gave him. And he makes a hole in one. And they are stupendously celebratory. It's just like father and a son that he never had or used to have and got back vicariously through somebody else. How sweet. How cute. But not on a serious note, though. It is good to see older man, young man bonding over something other than degeneracy. It's really sweet. It's really sweet. Even though Claire is having to go through her own thing on the back of it, it is really sweet to see. And we need to see it. Now, we pick back up the next day, and Michael is gearing up to go on out to the miniature golf plans that they got. And Jay tells him, look, this is too much. You don't want the war. It's over. Let it go. And he said, look, it ain't even about all that no more. I done found, you know, a new little friend in this guy. And she said, no, you need to pump your brakes. You need to stop. Because Claire done already moved on to the next little boy. She got some other little boy name scribbled in her notebook. Now, granted, on to the next. At the same time, I do get what Jay's saying, because this can start up a thing of like, this boy do something I don't like, just hop to the next. Hop. You know? And sometimes you don't need to just hopscotch to the next. Like, somebody, you need to take some time and simmer and, you know, evaluate everything. Let things flow. Sometimes you don't need another one to get over the other one. And we may not want to set up a pattern of tit for tat. Like, you did this, so now I'm going to do that. Ha. That's what you get, ass shit. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. But still, dealing with kids, something to be, you know, observed closely and nipped in the bud. Nip it in the bud. And Michael gonna say, Jay, look, I knew Claire wasn't right for Roger, okay? It's okay. I'm the one. I'm the one that's right for Roger. Right for Roger. I'm the one that's right for Roger. Right for Roger. This is an alarming statement, okay? I knew Claire wasn't right for Roger because I am. I'm the one. And again, me and Jay on the same page. I'm gonna need you to clear up what you mean by that right now. Not even real quick, not even right fast. Right now. Make it make sense? Make it make sense. Because do we need to call the cops? Or do we just need to call the therapist? But Michael said, look, he kind, he's smart, and he is important. What he says, he listens and all that good stuff. And Jay said, baby, you cannot continue to see him. Your daughter dumped him. You are violating the father-daughter code. She breaks up with him. That don't mean that you can date her. Let it go. And Michael's going on like, baby, do you know that he mastered level 4 of Death March 2000 in just 2 days? You know why? Because he listened to me. I tried to teach Junior and he just blew me off. So this is set in stone. Jay said, okay, look. I feel you. You feel like Roger, not Tony, is representing the son that you used to have. The one who listened, held on to your every word, and just felt like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Michael was introspective about this, and he like, yeah, he used to look up at me with them big old eyes and just be like, Dad, you the coolest thing on the planet. He worships me, sir. I feel you, okay? I feel you. But you gotta want more for yourself. And also realize that this is not about you. So I would imagine that Michael and Claire are having to realize and accept the fact that other people's wandering interest is not a reflection of their worth. And getting gratification from people is not the end all be all of your worth either. And that's another reason why I said that's something to be nipped in the bud. You don't always need another one to get over the other one, because sometimes that can implement that you're getting self-esteem boost excessively off of other people. That external gratification. It's necessary, but too much of anything is not a good thing. And if you're basing your sense of self-worth and your sense of self-image and your sense of self-esteem and all of that off of external gratification, it's a recipe for failure. Because as we can see, people's interests tend to wander, whether it's for the moment or for longevity. And you need to be your own star player. You need to gratify yourself at the beginning and the end of the day. Now, we're going to tap deeper into this thing with Michael and Junior. But to wrap up here, Michael is still like, he done had this realization, but he's still talking about he don't know what he gonna do. And me and Claire on the same page. Not Claire. Me and Jay on the same page. You gonna dump that little boy. You gonna kick his little big head butt straight to the curb. Boo boo kitty. Nah, the next scene. Roger, not Tony, comes on over and he got this new game called Gunmaster 68. Talking about, let's just say he know a guy that knows a guy, but Michael gotta stop him in his tracks and be like, hey, listen, we gotta talk, okay? Walks him on outside. They have a seat on the porch. All right. And Michael breaks it down to him. What I'm about to say is not going to be easy for me. Roger say, what is it? Michael say, Roger, it seems that we've been really fooling ourselves for the past few days. And Roger is looking concerned. Michael says, don't get me wrong. They've been magical, okay? It's just that I don't think we should see each other anymore. And Roger says, but I don't understand. Michael said, I know. It's hard for you. It's hard for me too, little buddy. And Roger says, was I crazy? Michael says, no, God, no. It's just that it's bigger than both of us. This has to do with the father-daughter code. Roger says, so this is about you and Claire? Michael says, I love her, Roger. What can I say? And Roger says, and so I'm just thrown to the side like yesterday's trash. Michael says, it's not you. It's the situation, you know? You know what? In another place, in another time, on a warm, sunny day in May, it would be wonderful. And Roger stands up and says, I can't believe you breaking up with me, Mr. Kyle. And Michael stands and say, look, I need time, damn it. I'm confused, Roger. You have to respect that I got feelings too. And Roger says, wow. Michael said, hey, but you think you could leave that Gunmaster 68? I'd love to give it a little try, you know. Roger says, it wouldn't feel right. Michael says, you right, that was selfish of me to ask. Very selfish of me to ask. And Roger says, I should go now. And he walks off with his head down. Michael says, hey, Roger, my tiger ball, I want you to have it. And he tosses it to him and buzzes him upside the head. So y'all, that ball clearly has something in it that just is volatile up against folks' heads. Now, the next scene, the final scene of the episode. Junior is in the living room playing a game, and Michael walks in and is like, "Oh, okay, okay, look at you, getting it how you live, doing a great job. What's good?" And Junior responds, "Oh yeah, I guess maybe I'm not doing as good as Roger. Like, what you gonna do? What you gonna criticize now? What you got to say? What it is, what it ain't?" And Michael like, "No, I ain't gonna criticize nothing. You know, you actually doing a great job. Just don't break that joystick." Tisk. But Michael goes on to say, you are doing immaculate on some shit. At one point, I couldn't even get you past level 1. And Junior said, well, I done had quite a bit of time to practice. And he said, Jay suggested reading, but turns out that Fields and Streams book is actually about Fields and Streams. Michael says, imagine that. And he gets up to walk off. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going ahead and let you have your game. Enjoy yourself. And Junior turns around and invites him to come on and play. Michael says, what, you're not worried that I'm going to be overly critical of you? And Junior says, Dad, come on, bro. He said, cool, after I kick your butt. So they sit down, commence to playing with each other, and it's back like old times. And that's the end of the episode. So, going to get into my final thoughts, which will ultimately be things that I either haven't said throughout the review or I just didn't touch on fluently. Starting with what I think about Michael and Junior's issue that has come up in this episode that had to find resolve. So I had said that it's more to it than just Junior being a teenage boy. Reason why he's doing all that hypersexual activity amongst himself. There's also some form of way that he is getting enjoyment, pleasure, entertainment, right? That's a part of the sacral chakra. And as Michael and Jay were conversing about, Junior used to get much of his excitement and entertainment and different feelings of pleasure and enjoyment and things like that vicariously through Michael. But as been stated before, as been stated in this episode and also previous episodes, Junior feels like Michael is hypercritical of him and plays too much on his top. A lot of the time he is making jokes towards him, but when your jokes and your criticism are the same, your jokes can't come off as just jokes. It comes off as passive aggression and shade. So that's something that has constantly had to be acknowledged and unpacked between Junior and Michael. And it's a good reflection on both Michael and Jay that Junior feels safe one way or another expressing that to Michael. Even though in some form of way, it's clear that he don't feel comfortable in certain ways talking to him. But at the base, he clearly feels safe expressing what he needs to express, addressing what he feels like needs to be addressed, confronting issues. And that's something that I love that's a part of Junior's characteristic, and it is consistent. I love that it's consistent because even though after the first season, more of Junior's what's that? What do we want to call it? I'm just gonna use a simple term, okay? More of Junior's buffoonery, quote unquote, is kind of hammed up more throughout the later seasons, but there is still that creative spirit. That's a consistency about him. Alternative brilliance. That's a consistency about him, and also his will and his courage to confront issues verbally and to speak his mind and essentially attempt to set boundaries. And as it's been said that Michael was trying to get back the Junior he used to know vicariously through Roger. And I also had mentioned that it's a possibility that it's some certain form of bond and family father-son type of intimacy that Roger could have been lacking in his household that he was getting back vicariously through Michael and interacting with Michael and all that. I also feel like some of Michael's deprivation from his father and therefore his daddy issues were also showing up in his interaction with both Roger and Junior, as well as his lack of interaction with Junior at a certain point. And what I mean by that is Michael has a specific goal as a father to do things differently than his father did, to handle his kids and raise his kids in a different, less combative, less violent, less aggressive and controlling manner than how his father was with him. So, him having those fun times, those father son bondings with Junior and then with Roger was him like not only making a difference, but him also kind of like healing his inner child in a way, and healing his inner child and embracing his inner child vicariously through those young boys. But at the same time, as much as he's made diligent changes, there's certain learned behavior that still remains because of where he comes from and what's been poured into him. And what I feel like that is the hypercritical element, the nitpicky element, and him feeling like it's different and better because he's not doing it in a direct and aggressive way, tear down, put down type of way, but it's still coming off with that same energy. It's just passive aggressive. And of course, that is towards Junior because his daddy, more than likely, and as conversations have been had, often made him feel like he was not good enough. Always took shots at his limitations and what he was not able to do and what he didn't do, and not giving him enough credit for the things that he did do, not speaking life and love into him for him just being who he is. Always having a dissatisfactory view and response to Michael. And it's like Michael also would project that onto Junior, even in the way of withholding interaction, even though, clearly Junior had pulled back a little bit. Michael allowed that to happen for a period of time because that's that learned behavior. You're not doing things the way I want you to do it and the way I think you should, and you gonna reject me, so I'm gonna reject you, which is toxic because you are the father. You're supposed to show love to your son unconditionally. You're supposed to go out of your way to try to continuously form a bond with him unconditionally, not just allow him to flee and or push him away because you don't agree or understand with every single thing that he is and that he comes with and that he does. And if that didn't get nipped in the bud soon enough, Junior would have eventually grew up to be the same type of person in his relationships and or with his own children. And like I kind of touched on, I feel like Junior feeling deprived of, his own independent thinking and independent seeking and embracing of different forms of entertainment because he was doing a lot of things that his daddy wanted him to do and expected him to do, even as it concerned enjoyment, pleasure, entertainment. So when he withdrew from his daddy and felt pushed away by his daddy, he put all of that energy into loving up on himself, in a hypersexual manner. And again, it was more than him just being a teenage boy. It was him feeling not only deprived of a father-son sacral bond, it's also him lacking the independence of enjoyment. Him being able to decide, first of all, him being able to seek and find and decide what is enjoyable for him just because it's enjoyable for him. What is pleasurable for him just because it's pleasurable for him. Outside of what his daddy thinks, outside of what anybody else thinks, what does Junior truly enjoy? What truly entertains him? What truly brings him pleasure? And all he had at the time, all he knew at the time, outside of what his daddy put upon him, was to hypersexually pleasure himself. And like I said, that could have turned into a vicious issue because when he gets tired of pleasuring himself in such a manner, he would start turning that energy towards women and men, if that's what was to come down the pipeline, if you will, because that hypersexuality, if you're getting all of your sense of pleasure and enjoyment and all of that out of sex, eventually it's not gonna matter what that vessel is. Whether it's a man, woman, chicken, cow, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that has to be halted in its tracks and unpacked so that we can make sure that it's coming from a stable place. and not from a place of deprivation. Because when you function in deprivation, you end up doing things out of desperation. And all of that ties into the consistent theme of this episode of releasing yourself from the dependency of external gratification. Realizing that a lot of the time, people's actions are not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves, as well as I've been saying with Junior in this situation, getting your source of entertainment, learning what that is for you, and not just being entertained by things because of what other people expect you to be entertained by, what other people push upon you to be entertained by. And I think that's very easy for people to end up impressing upon their kids, that like, especially the oldest kids, they tend to like mindlessly, sometimes mindfully, feel like, oh, I like this and I'm supposed to be pouring this into my kid because I think it's good, so it's going to be good for them. And it's like, not necessarily. They may enjoy certain things that you enjoy, but it may be certain things that you enjoy that they don't, and that doesn't make it bad. And it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't mean that it's anything that you're doing wrong. A lot of the time, when your kids seek independent thoughts and independent feelings, or they just naturally have that, that is a good reflection of you. Your kids are extensions of you and reflections of you, but they are not meant to be carbon copies of you. Yeah, child. And with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I'm thoroughly appreciative of the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in always light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.